What's up, everybody? I'm Blessed and Free. Welcome back to another episode of DOC TV. So you guys already know I love to do interviews on this channel. Actually, on this channel, I've had three females share their story on how their life was growing up and how it ended up them in prison. So in this episode, I got another female on, and we're going to get a perspective on what it's like for a female in prison and also what happened that led her to prison. So just to introduce you to the subscribers and everyone watching at home, what's your name and where you from?
Hey, my name is Ashley Kelly, and I'm from Milledgeville, Georgia. It's a little country town, probably like an hour and a half south of Atlanta.
Okay. So what was it like for Ashley growing up?
Well, my parents were 23 years apart. They were married until I was 10 years old.
Okay.
I had a really good life growing up. My grandparents came from Cuba back in the 70s. I'm their only grandchild. They have taken me all over the country. I danced for 15 years. I played softball. I rode four-wheelers. I hunted. I did everything you could possibly imagine. My parents divorced when I was 10, and my mom married my dad's best friend, and it just caused a lot of turmoil and things in my life. Like, it was a really big deal because my dad was a really important person in my hometown. So just caused a lot of problems with, me going to certain friends' houses. My mom actually had an affair with my dad's best friend, and my dad had like a private investigator and all kind of stuff. It was just really crazy.
So that was some drama that you went through at a young age, huh?
Yeah, it was. But my parents always drank. They always partied. They liked to go to Vegas and go gambling. And we would go to casinos, in the Bahamas. And we always went to Miami frequently to go see my family. So as a kid, like, I was always in a party scene. And really, I would say maybe like I was raised in a household to where it was okay to go out and okay to get drunk and okay to party. So
So is that what you started doing the older you got?
At a very young age. I was really rebellious. I was pissed off at my mom for years. Years. It kind of,
I can't imagine.
Everything kind of like drove a wedge between me and both my parents eventually. So I just was doing my own thing. I just wanted to do whatever. I did not listen to shit they said. I would go to one's house and then get mad at one and then go to the other one, and I just did whatever.
So how long was it after you grew up and, started getting into your early teenage years, maybe late teenage years, that you started doing things where you're like, man, if I get caught doing this, like, I could go do some time behind this?
Well, I don't think that I really cared.
So you were like, fuck it, let's go to prison?
No, well, my first time getting arrested, I was probably like 14 or 15.
Damn, you're like me. You started young, huh?
Yeah, and of course it was for what used to be my favorite thing, underage drinking. So I went to jail for that. Then 16, I went to jail for like drag racing and fleeing and eluding and just some really stupid shit that I don't even know why I did it. So my dad got sick. I really kind of like didn't have a relationship with my dad anymore, and he got sick when I was 17. And at that point, I was trafficking a lot of drugs and getting paid to do it every week. I would skip school. The people would call me and they would be like, hey, are you ready to go to Atlanta? And I'd be like, yeah, of course. And I'd just leave school. I was making more money than people that were, grown-ups with college degrees. So I
So
didn't
how
take.
did you get wrapped up into that? Was it like somebody you were dating that was selling drugs, or like how did you meet people that were like, "Hey, what's up? Like you ready to go deliver some keys?"
Well, I mean, I I guess a little bit of both. I was just hanging out with a rough crowd, and
Yeah.
you just meet people, and I don't know, it just happens. I mean, I got very close with these people. They became like my family. I know it sounds kind of crazy. Why would you want to be family members with somebody that endangers your life? But
Yeah.
they were there for me more than like my real family at times for certain things. So yeah, I started dating a guy that I met through the people that I was doing all that for, and he was selling a lot of drugs. I was like 18. We moved to Atlanta. He was friends with a rapper, so we were constantly going out and doing things, going to strip clubs, everything. I was 18 years old doing things that nobody from a small country town had ever really done.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just got really involved into the lifestyle. My boyfriend was really abusive. I mean, like extremely abusive. In between all this, my dad passed away. So right before I started dating that guy, my dad had passed away like 6 months before, and I was just, doing so much cocaine and drinking all the time and smoking weed, doing X pills, everything. I'd gotten, a good bit of money off of life insurance money, and I was just,
So you were just out there going ham.
yeah, basically.
So how long was it before that you caught charges where like you went to court and either your attorney or your public defender was like, "Hey, like this charge right here, you might have to go sit down for a minute."
Okay. Well, I left the guy. I got with another guy who was who did play for the NFL at one point. He got kicked out the NFL for smoking weed.
Damn.
He came back to play arena ball, and in between him going to play arena football and like just kind of getting like everything sorted out with that, I got busted for manufacturing marijuana, and I was like 19 at the time. So we thought that I was gonna have to go do some time for that, and I didn't go to court for like 2-3 years. I ended up getting like this drug program. They let me do it. I did really
Right.
great. I got my life together. I half-assed got my life together. I got married to somebody else. That didn't work. I got divorced, but through all that,
Yeah.
I was doing really well. I was sober. I wasn't, I would go out and drink every now and then, but I was really involved in the gym. I worked out every day. Like I was, really involved with my step family, which was something that I had never, really done in my life. And then my mom got sick. So when my mom got sick, she went to MD Anderson in Houston, which is like a good bit away from where I'm from in
Yeah.
Georgia. And I was working as an administrative assistant for an Australian based company. And I was losing hours working, having to take care of my grandparents. And I don't know, one thing led to another, and I started back selling drugs. So at this point, I hadn't sold drugs for like 3 or 4 years. So I let someone move in with me, and it was someone I considered like my family. My dad's side of the family raised them when we were in high school. And I called him my cousin. He wasn't my real cousin, but anyway, he gets into some trouble. And to get himself out of trouble, he wore cameras on me. And so he
So
set
he
me.
wore a wire, or he wore an actual camera on you to get you indicted.
Yeah, like he I guess it was like a little, I don't still to this day don't know what kind of camera he had on. I don't know if it was in his clothes, did he record me on his phone? But I'd gotten him a job at a car dealership, and he leaves his job at the car dealership, comes to buy something from me. I never sold anything out of my house ever. But since he lived with me, I didn't think anything of it. when he said, "Hey, let me get something." So I'm like, "Okay, all right, cool. What do you want?" You know, and they didn't even arrest me right then. They like gave me marked money, I guess, like because I had pictures of it in my discovery. But
Yeah, they were setting you up to do
yeah,
more shit so
to
they
do
could get you.
more, right?
Yeah.
So they came to get me a week later, which was actually like the next day after I went to re-up, but they didn't get me with what I had brought back because I did something else with it. So they ended up getting me with like 26.5 grams. They had a warrant for a cell charge. They charged me with
26 grams of cocaine or
yeah,
marijuana? Cocaine?
cocaine.
Damn.
Yeah, so I graduated from marijuana to cocaine at this point.
Yeah, it's crazy how that happens, right?
Yeah, so he sets me up. I go do some time in the county. I was on misdemeanor probation. They finally give me a bond. I had two lawyers working on my case, and I bonded out. And my lawyers were like, "Okay, well, you're gonna have to go do some time for this. We're just not sure. Are you gonna have to go to boot camp, or are you gonna have to go to prison?" So in the midst of all this, I have this boyfriend that's selling a lot of drugs. It's a new boyfriend because apparently I attract idiot boyfriends. And um, so he gets busted in the biggest meth bust that's ever happened in my hometown at the time.
Damn.
So this is while like I think I had just gotten sentenced. They offered me a 15-3 or 9 months RSAT, which is like a drug program in Georgia, but it's basically like boot camp prison. You just have to do this like drug curriculum rehab type
Right.
every day. So I called my boyfriend who had like this before he got busted when I went to court. He had warrants. So I call him and I'm like, "Look, Junior, they're giving me a 15-3 or I can do RSAT, and I do not want to go do RSAT." He's like, "Just take the RSAT because they're gonna let you wait on your bed. Just take it. I have warrants. I want to spend time with you, and I want to turn myself in before you get sent off. That way, I can get
Right.
handled." So this is like before he catches all his charges, he had a petty like stupid warrant. I think it was for like a misdemeanor or like a low level felony. So he never turns himself in because 9 times out of 10, most people with warrants don't. So by the time he gets busted with all this crazy shit. And they call me a week later. They're like, "You have to turn yourself in for RSAT." And I'm like, "What? I'm not ready to go. My boyfriend just got busted. I feel like he died because I know he's going away for a long time. I'm depressed. I don't know what to do with myself." And I almost ran, but I was like, "Okay, no, I'm going to go." So I go. I'm there for 9 months. Through all that, I got a warrant issued out on me for possession of firearm. Uh, really, I kind of felt like the guy that I was dating at the time was the reason that the warrant got issued on me. So
And this is the dude that told you to turn yourself
I
in?
turned myself in to get it over with, whatever, the guy I was dating. So I guess I was just hurt by the whole scenario that like he like gave a lot of information in his case that really could have like really gotten
Fuck
me in a
you
lot of
up
trouble.
in your case?
Yeah, me, one of our best friends, like a lot of people involved. So I just really was hurt more than anything and felt like a lot of betrayal from him. So when I got out, I was just ready to make some money, and 9 months didn't do anything for me. So within 6 weeks, I had caught a trafficking charge.
So
Nobody set me up. I was just,
you were just wilding.
I
So
was just
let me
my
back it up
mode.
just a little bit. So when you did the 9 months, like, why do you think that after you did 9 months that you got out and chose to kind of go right back to that? Like, what was your mindset that you were like, because you know how when you're in there, like you have the thought process of like, when I get out this time, like I'm never coming back here. I don't want to do this shit anymore. And for me, it was like that. And then I got out and messed up too, but I know why I did. I was just curious as to why you got out and messed up. Was it money, men? Like, what was the situation for you personally?
In any other situation, including the one why I'm here right this second, it would be a man. But in that situation right there, I would say that I mentally wasn't prepared to step out of there. Really, Department of Corrections didn't help me when I was there. And I know that sounds like kind of like, oh, well, you should want to do it for yourself. But I was in a drug program. I've never been offered rehab. I've never gotten to go to rehab. Of course, I've never wanted to go to rehab. But anytime I've
Are
been,
you an addict?
not, I wouldn't say I am. I was more like an alcoholic than anything.
So
When
it's
I was
kind of the same
17,
thing.
yeah, I mean, it is in a sense, yeah. But as far as like an intervention type addict, no,
Okay.
I wouldn't say. No, I mean, I know
So
I'm
you're
lying.
just not to the extreme where, like, you know, you got
Right.
people trying to save your own life. You
Yeah,
kind of
it
were just dabbling in it, right?
right.
Okay.
So really it was the money. I was trying to make money fast, trying to get out my mom's house. I was going crazy living at my mom's house. I'd had my own place since I was like 17 years old. So really at the time I think I was like 23 or 24, I'm not sure. And it was just, I just felt like, oh my God, I'm living at my mom's. I haven't even lived at my mom's when I was a teenager, really.
Yeah.
And it was just driving me crazy. I was so ready to get out of there. I have a half brother that, like 20 something years older than me. And I was trying to like get a place closer to him so I could help him out because he was going through a time in his life. So, I was just really, it was the money. I was just making money really fast and I just got caught up. And I didn't think that I was going to get caught up because I wasn't really messing around in the area that I'm from. I really was doing stuff in other places. And I ended up going to jail where I'm from because I forgot it was in my car.
Damn. So you
So,
got pulled over. You had what, dope on you, and you
yeah, I
didn't
did.
realize it was in your car?
I mean, I just had forgotten from the day before.
God, man.
It was stupid. It was really stupid. And so,
Yeah.
my county was so tired of my shit at that point because they knew that I had done so much, but I'd really like kind of skated on it,
Yeah.
or like they couldn't really get me for anything because every time they tried to get me, either nothing was there or it wasn't what they expected to get me with.
Yeah.
So,
So they were ready to get you.
so yeah, so when they arrest me for this, of course I go to jail, they put me in, all that. Drug task force talks to me. I don't have anything to say, whatever. 2 weeks later, the detectives pull me out and I'm like, where am I going? They're like, the detective side. And I'm like, okay, for what? I don't have anything. No, I don't have anything to say. And the DEA agent was right there around the corner. And I'm like, I mean, I know I probably turned ghost white. I'm like, oh my God, this is the same guy that handled my ex-boyfriend's case the year before.
Damn. So when you got
So
arrested for the trafficking before that, like, what was going through your head? Like when, you're getting booked into jail, you're going back to jail, like what was going on for you at that point?
I knew I was going to prison. Like
Yeah.
I knew. Really, at this point, or at that point, it was just, okay, how long? I had
Right.
about 15 years left on probation.
Damn, bro.
So I knew they were going to pull, some of it. And my probation officer had already came down there and I told him, I was like, look, whatever y'all are going to do, I'd rather run it with my prison sentence. So I don't want to go ahead and go on a probation revocation. So, I mean, I was calm, really. I was like at peace with the situation. And I know it sounds crazy, but I knew that I'd done so much shit that this was my time, that it was time for me to sit down. I mean, I knew
Yeah.
it. And, I knew I was going to prison and I was just really just waiting to see what was going to happen. Well, of course, my case got turned over to the feds. Well, then my county was trying to push it to them because my county knew that they would try to career me out. My lawyer, I sat there for a year. My lawyer finally talked to the U.S. attorney. The U.S. attorney agreed that if I pled guilty in Superior Court, that she would let the state have my case. My lawyer really did a great job on my behalf because she knew like my whole story. So she really pushed for me because I have downplayed myself a lot in my life due to lack of what? Due to lack of self-esteem and just, family issues and different things. So she fought hard for me. And, I was thankful the state ended up giving me a 25 to 8. I went to prison. After sitting there for a year, I went to Pulaski, and then I went to Alto. And so I did my prison sentence. I made a plan. My lawyer wanted me to write a 5-year, goal plan. I decided that I was going to go to Veda, which is a cosmetology school. I got out. I went and, did a tour of the school. I gave myself a little bit of time. I bought a new car when I got out. I was doing really well. I had some money, like saved up and stuff. And then I started dating a guy.
So this is after you got out of prison?
After I got out of prison, I did good myself. I myself did great. I had company around me that was not doing great.
Yeah.
I was going to school 11 hours a day. I was really passionate about this, but the support I got from my boyfriend at the time was on the floor. Like, it just sucked. He expected me to ride with him everywhere. He was selling drugs. I'm like, look, I can't afford to be around this. You don't understand. They're going to give me way more time than they'll ever give you just because of my history. Like, I cannot afford this at all. So, it was just causing a lot of problems in our relationship. And
what made you stay? Why, like when you saw that happening and what, like you just said, you know what I mean? Like, man, if we get knocked off, I'm going up the river. Like, why do you think it was that you didn't just say, you know what, like, fuck you, I'm out?
Oh, well, I think it was more of like my mom always is saying, I told you so. And
like not being able to work it out with a relationship.
No, it's more or less like she'll tell me somebody's no good and I won't want to listen to her.
Right.
We had a situation where I had 2 cars and he wrecked one of my cars, ran from the cops, all kind of crazy. I don't know. I wasn't with him. I was at home. I wasn't there at all. And I had to go pick him up. I had to find him. I did not tell my mom about it. Well, my stepdad owns a big plumbing company. So he, small town, he finds out about the whole situation. He tells my mom. It happened to be my first day of school. My mom sends me this long text message about how proud of me she is. She's just, so glad that I'm finally doing something that I've been wanting to do. She can't wait for me to finish and open my own business and whatever. Well, then I go on my lunch break. I come back from lunch. I'm with my boyfriend and he's dropping me off at school. And I'm like looking at my phone and I get a text message. Where do you find all your boyfriends? Why do you get them all up from a dumpster? And I'm like,
damn, mom said that?
Yeah. And
cold.
So
boy.
I knew at that point, I'm like, I can't even really even break up with him right now because she's going to push me to do something about this car. And it was just, I didn't want to report my car stolen, trying to stick to the code and not get anybody in trouble because that's the last thing I want to do. And plus I felt bad for him. He had warrants in our hometown and I mean, I cared for him, but it was extremely toxic. And I had no idea my driver's license was suspended. It had been suspended for 9 days. I got pulled over. I had him in the car with me. They told me my license was suspended and they asked him who he was. He lied about who he was. They fingerprinted him on the scene. All his warrants popped up from the incident with the car and we went to jail.
All right. So you got out of prison, started dating another
idiot
gangster. And so now you're sitting back in jail. Are you going to prison again now?
I'm in prison. Well, I'm actually at work release, but
okay. So right now you're living in a work release center. You just got done with another prison bid after that first one.
Yep. They gave me 20 months for I didn't get violated for the new charge. I really just got violated for a technical violation. And I was told I was going to do 6 to 9 months. And when I went to diagnostics and the parole board reviewed my case, they gave me 20 months.
Okay, so let me ask you, what's prison like in your eyes when you first went to prison? Like, were you like shell shocked? Like, how was it for you when you did your prison bid?
It's definitely different. It's a world inside of a world.
Facts.
But I went to 2 different prisons. So the first prison I was at was like really clean. It was in a really country town. Like everything was always inspection ready. There wasn't, they had so much structure, but I mean, there was still prison stuff going on. I mean, like, we're still smoking cigarettes. People are still doing this. They're still getting dropped. They're still, like.
What did you see in there as far as violence goes?
I tell people this all the time. They're like, is there gangs in females in women's prisons? And I'm like, yeah, but they don't fight about gang stuff. They fight about girlfriends. Like,
Right.
everything in like almost, I would say 95% of everything that happens in prison when it comes to like a fight or any kind of violence has to do with girlfriends. And it's crazy.
So what would you say is the percentage of females that go to prison and end up getting into like a lesbian relationship, if you want to call it that? What did you see?
I would say almost all of them. Let me ask my bunkmate, Young, how many females in prison do you think get in a gay relationship? Yeah, they said about 90%.
90? Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that kind of brings me to the next question. Where did you get into a relationship when you were in prison?
Yeah, I tried it out. It wasn't for me.
You tried it out? Okay.
I tried it out. I dated a girl for a while. It
wasn't what it cracked up to be?
No, it was not. It was not.
Okay. So as far as when you're in prison, like, what was the thing you missed the most when you were locked up? Or you were seeing that you're still locked up? Like because for me, I would lay in my bunk, at night to go to sleep. And always in my head, I got the streets running in my head. I got what I want to do, everything you're planning. But there's always like that one thing where you're like, damn, I just wish I had a comfortable bed to lay in or something like that. What was your thing?
Food.
Food?
Definitely.
Okay.
Food. Well, no. I mean, of course, you want your family and friends and stuff like that. But food is definitely big. Just having like your own things that you like clothes, food, makeup you like. They only sell like certain types of makeup, cheap makeup on packages, and it's not anything that you would ever probably go and buy ever. Doing what you want to do. Having to go to bed at a certain time, having to stay in your room at a certain time, having to not take a shower at a certain time because it's inspection time. You can't wear your hair down when you have your uniform on in case inspection comes. Like, just having to adhere to all the rules and deal with all the bullshit because they're very quick to sweep things up under the rug when it makes them look bad.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think there's another side to it that a lot of people don't see.
Like as far as the corruption?
Yeah. Probably the worst thing that happened to me in my last prison sentence was someone I was really good friends with. She actually overdosed in the dorm, like in front of all of us.
What, on fentanyl?
No, it's crazy how it happened. She was shooting up Suboxone and doing Subutex, and she had taken some Adderall, and I guess she just had like a brain aneurysm, and she we kept telling the officer to call medical, and she had been trying to call medical all morning,
Yeah,
and
medical ain't coming.
they were not answering, and this went on from like 8 o'clock to like 12 o'clock. At 12 o'clock count, we're online for count, and her bunkmate just started screaming, and she had fallen out and started throwing up and bleeding out the mouth, and next thing you know, she just died in front of us, turned blue. And I went to lockdown. My friend went to one, two, three. There was four of us that went to lockdown for it. Pending investigation. They wouldn't tell us if she was dead or not. They wouldn't tell us anything. And I literally only went to lockdown because I was friends with the lady. I wasn't doing any drugs with her. Like I didn't do drugs then. Like I don't do any kind of opiates. I've definitely never shot up. I really was just smoking cigarettes with the lady every day. She was like a mom figure to me, and drinking
Yeah.
coffee with her every day. And I just got caught up in the confusion. I
Yeah.
stayed in lockdown for that like 30 days. They forgot to take me off pen and bed space. They tried to like lie to us and say we were all going to prison. We're all staying in prison for life for murder because we killed her. And I'm like, you can't do that.
Yeah,
I had
that's
nothing to do with
crazy.
it. It was crazy. They wouldn't tell us if she was dead or not. They tried to say it was our fault, but that's not our fault. That's your fault.
When
Please
you were in there, were there people working outside the gate in this
Yeah.
prison? So
Yeah.
they were getting drops and then bringing the shit in?
Actually, that's not even how it was coming in.
Oh, okay. Well,
But yeah, there was. I mean, yeah, they brought in like cigarettes and stuff, but like no.
Okay. So where are you right now? Like what's your life like right now?
Well, I'm at the TC and well, transitional center. Um, I've been stuck here since August because they don't have my social security card, so I can go work. But it's okay. Like it's small. It's a small facility. I'm in Atlanta, which is cool because I live in Atlanta.
Yeah. What's your plans now?
I definitely want to finish school at Aveda. I want to open a beauty bar that serves alcohol and appetizers, and I want to do like microblading, eyebrows, eyelash extensions, have maybe like one or two nail techs, and just
That's what's up.
just cute little shop.
And stay away from dudes.
Yeah, I really want to get my instructor license too because I want to teach cosmetology. So
well, that's what's up. So if you could tell some like an 18-year-old girl right now that's running with the dope boys, doing her thing, kind of like how you did, what would you tell them to stop them from going down the same roads you had to go down in life?
It's definitely not worth it. I would I'm thankful for everything that I've gone through in life because I feel like I wouldn't be the person that I am now. I would settle for something that I don't want to do, or I would, work a kind of job where I'm not happy or something. But I don't want anyone to go through the things that I have had to go through to get to that point. And I wish that I would have had more encouragement and, someone to actually be there for me and, support me and do the type of things like maybe like parents should do, whatever. Because I didn't get back in touch with my mom until and get close with her until I was in my 20s. So I hope that maybe, young girls can find some kind of mentor and someone they can talk to about anything they're going through, any kind of domestic situations. I encourage any and everyone to go get help. The drugs aren't worth it. You don't know what these people are giving out these days at all anymore.
Yeah, they're selling death. That's what they're selling.
Yeah.
That shit's no joke.
Yeah.
So listen, I just wanted to thank you for coming on the channel and telling your story. I know that probably it takes a lot of guts to do that. You know what I mean? Because unfortunately, the society we live in, we're still getting judged. Even when we did our prison time, we still face that shit when we're on the streets. So if there's anything else you'd want to say?
No, not really. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it very much. If you want to hit me back up after I get out and see what I'm up to, I'm down to do it again.
All right. Yeah, no doubt. All right. So everybody that's watching this right now, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, show some support, comment, and let me know if you've been in these type of situations and what's happened in your life. And with that, it's DOC TV, and we're out.